Good morning, guys. Today finally we're gonna be starting the workshop. The first day is gonna be a little tricky because we need to clean all this area. We need to move some leftover of the garden that we have been keeping there. We are gonna need that space. We're gonna move that to the other side of the property, and once we do that, we're gonna clean underneath the solar panels because they are also full of stuff that we have been keeping because it's covered from the rain and we don't have much space covered from the rain besides the cabin. So we have been using the space underneath the solar panels for that, but we need to clean it up because we're gonna need access in order to start working. We're gonna start working on the ground. So basically we're gonna eat a bit of ground over there, probably on that corner too. We're gonna be building a slab on grade, all made of concrete. In order to do that, we need to have everything level. Ya, hay que tener cuidado, si se va a caer para allá el carro, ¿eh? You might be wondering what are we doing with these two cement bags. We bought them when we started the cabin for the foundation, and we left it in the shed, and I think during the winter it didn't get wet or anything, but I think just with the humidity of the air it got cured, so it's rock solid right now. This is like two pads, of concrete pads, but we just put it in the van because it's too heavy to carry it by hand. By the way, these two big black buckets are just wood from the olive trees that we use to start the fire in the fireplace, which works great. And also this other bucket, we have pine cones that we have been harvesting from the local countryside. And this morning I actually went to pick up more pine cones. This is what I picked this morning with Aspen. Just letting them dry here in the sun before I put them in this other bucket. This area is a mess, by the way. This is where we kept all the olive branches from the olive tree, and half of that is already in that bucket, but I'm running out of buckets. We're gonna keep these buckets underneath the solar panels for now because it's dry underneath here. Now with everything clean, so we don't have more clutter underneath the solar panels. Just a little, but there are like pumpkins and the air compressor, which we would like to keep under the solar panels as well, so it doesn't rain on top of it. So now that we finished that part, we're gonna go ahead and remove all these weeds that we have been putting here from the garden because it doesn't belong there anymore, and so we're gonna move it somewhere else. We're gonna be putting all the green waste here in this area because we're gonna be building at some point a compost bin with 4 wooden pallets. We need to find. So we will have like an enclosed volume for all this green waste to go to compost. But for now we're gonna be just dropping it here. We just stopped for a snack, and we are super tired. I don't think we are used to working this hard at this moment. No, it's the first day of work since we finished the cabin. So, how are you doing, Eugenia?
Not good.
Not good. Alright guys, this is already clean. We remove all the greens and put it there, and all the trash and put it in the trash can. And now we're left with the actual ground, which it's looking quite well, but we're gonna need to cut probably like 50 centimeters here in this area because it's encroaching where our slab is gonna go, and we want to have a little room around it so we can pour concrete nicely and without having to step over this actual step. We're gonna be cutting over here like a straight line perpendicular to the cabin.
Ay, el pobre, ¿no?
What did I tell you?
No, I'll tell you.
How is this guy inside there? I don't get it, man.
Lo pongo ahí. Qué pobre.
Are you happy in your new house, man? This is cooler, isn't it? Watch out with Lolita.
Aquí habrá que hacer algún tipo de zanja para mandar para allá, ¿no? Para que no se vaya para allá el agua, ¿no? Ah, ¿qué es ahí? Ah, vale. Me llamo Carlos.
It's been a tough day today, and now we are cooking some early dinner, late lunch. This weekend we actually cooked some soup that we have in the fridge. Eugenia just prepped these veggies for the soup, made a salad, and she went with Aspen for a walk, and I'm just getting ready the rice and heating the soup up.
Okay guys, day 2 of the build. I'm destroyed and my hands hurt a lot, but let's do this.
First, we're gonna be marking where the location of the concrete slab is going to be. We have a rough idea where it's going to be honest, but we just want to make sure that it's perfectly perpendicular to the cabin. And after that, we're gonna need to dig a little bit in this area. As you can see, the ground goes up a little bit in that area, and it's higher than here, in order to avoid having to do the slab very thick. If we don't excavate there, it's probably gonna end up being like a 50 centimeters, 40 centimeters. We want to do like a thin concrete slab, which is going to be like 10, 15 centimeters max. So we're gonna dig there in order to make all 4 corners pretty much at the same height, and then go from there. We could have done that by a machine, you know, like with an excavator, but I don't think it's going to take that long to do it by hand. That way we avoid spending the money on renting the excavator or hiring someone to do it. So now we can double check what's the depth here, which is like 1 feet, 30 centimeters. And then we can go on the other one here, for example, and see it's 15 centimeters. So we will need to dig 15 centimeters here, or either dig or fill that. But I think we're gonna be digging. This way we can double check how much we need to dig. Alright guys, this is being harder than we expected. I don't know if it was a good idea to do it by hand, because it's the ground is super hard. I don't know, it's super compacted. But Eugenia is getting there. Alright guys, a lot of progress here. Eugenia, aka the human excavator, was able to dig all this. That is what I was referring earlier this morning, that we needed to dig. That corner over there needed to go down by like 15 centimeters, like approximately 7 inches. And that way, that corner and this corner, they are roughly the same level. So when we put the form, we can be able to put all the top part of the form perfectly level, which is how we want to build the slab. And now basically we mark a little valley that we still have on the ground with a spray. That's what Eugenia is trying to flatten right now. Once that's done, I think we're ready to go. Hopefully tomorrow we're gonna be able to go to buy the wood for the forms, because for the cabin forms we use wooden pallets, but for this slab I think we need proper wooden boards that we're gonna buy, like 5 meter longs by 3 meters. So we're probably gonna buy 6 meter pieces. A lot of progress in one day. This morning I didn't think we were going to be able to pull this off, but it's looking quite well. $31, $34, $31, $29, $30. So we are like 1 centimeter. We're almost horizontal. It's like 1 centimeter going down and up, which is fine for what we're doing. So the slab is going to be a little thicker somewhere. And but on top it's gonna be the same. I think we're gonna leave it like that, no, Eugenia? And then here we have 34, so you went a little bit too.
Where?
Here, no? 33. So this is too deep by 2 centimeters, which is fine. You can just feel it, but I wouldn't go any deeper than this, eh? So this is 32. This is 1 centimeter deeper. Like for example here. It's almost perfect, so we will just need to remove this little valley here if we want, and that's it.
Un poquito más. No se me queda. Tampoco me lo deja plano.
I'm trying to tell Eugenia that it's fine like that, but she's gone crazy excavator mode. So you judge by yourself. That's Eugenia. That's Eugenia checking the level. All right, I convinced her, and I think that's all for today. We're done for the day. Tomorrow we're gonna be going to buy all the wood that we need for the forms. Probably also a bit more of rebars because we have some leftovers from long story. But I think we're gonna need more, so I need to do the math tonight in the computer. Make sure that I get the right number so we can buy tomorrow. So it's nothing holding us from forming everything, putting the rebars. I mean, this slab really doesn't need rebars for what we are going to be doing with the kind of ground that we have. But it's always good to have rebar inside in a concrete slab, so I'm gonna just do it. You know, it's cheap and it won't take us much longer than not doing it. So it's probably gonna add, I don't know, half a day of work, like a full day tops. But I think it's worth it, and that way, if it for some reason, which I don't think this ground will do it, the slab flex, the rebar will be able to compensate that force. Pretty good stuff. Aspen is here after a long day working with us, and he's on his leash because he's liking to escape, right? Completely. And then comes back the day after in the morning, all limping and all because he cannot walk anymore. So he probably does like 40 kilometers or something like that. But we cannot risk to lose you, man. So you are gonna be on a leash until you behave. Sit for the block. Sit. Sentado. Muy bien. Alright guys, we're getting ready to go to pick up some of the material that we need to do the form. Before we do that, we need to offload. They have been sitting there for quite some time, since the last time that we went to surf. And but we're gonna need that space to put the wooden pieces on top because they're long, they're like 6 meters. So I need to go ahead and remove them from there. Obrigado. ¿Me pongo yo allí mejor? Que aquí no hay que hacer prácticamente fuerza.
Una sobre otra, ¿no?
Sí. We just came back and were able to find all the wood for the forms. They actually come in 2.5 meters. I thought they were going to come in 6 meters, but they didn't have those. We didn't have to use the roof rack, which is always good. The only downside is that we will need to combine them together in order to make 5 meters. So we will need to use 2 and then like screw them together so we can reach the length of the workshop. We were also able to buy the anchor bolts. They're just threaded rods. We didn't get to buy all of them, so we will need to buy the other 6 probably tomorrow or so in a different store. We're only missing now the plastic that we're gonna try to put underneath the slab, which is actually not necessary for this type of slab that we're pouring here because it's not gonna be a livable space on top of it. But anyways, it's good practice, and since we are already doing it, I'd rather do it well. I don't know if we're gonna be able to find that kind of material in a local store around here. I guess we might get lucky. I'll keep you guys posted. Also, tomorrow we are going to a little bit north of Portugal because we're meeting with a light steel manufacturer, which is gonna be the one that we're gonna be using for the workshop. Tomorrow is gonna be a long driving day. Okay, so we are headed to Blocken to go see the material that we need. We're going to see their facilities and see what material we're going to be ordering for the workshop. We're going to take you guys with us so you can see it by yourselves too.